Okay, let me tell y'all about this 1 day trial that was supposed to be a 2 day trial, but the mom, they never be working out for me. So, agency hit me up. We got a pretty crazy mom, type A, very controlling. We put one other nanny, but we think she was just a little too timid for the job. So we think that you have the backbone and you can put your foot down when it comes to certain stuff that the mom may try. And we think you would be good for that. I said, okay, let's do an interview. We do a phone interview, good. We do a home interview, good. Everything good. She just, told me that she work off lists. She want to tell people one time, this is what I'm looking for, and that she wants you to do it. She don't want you to need constant supervision. I agree with that. I said, I work the same way. I just need you to leave me alone. Tell me what you need from me. We can work together, and then you can go, let me be, and everything will be fine. She said, this is perfect. I love it. Let's set up a trial. We set up a trial. Boom. I get there on the trial day. That's straight out the door. The woman had me fucked up, okay? So I normally get the trials 30 minutes early to scour the neighborhood to make sure it's safe. I don't care how rich the neighborhood is, it can still be unsafe. And if I feel like my Kia Forte is in danger, I'm going to ask you if I can park it in the garage away from the danger in your neighborhood. So I get there 30 minutes early. I get to her door 7. I normally get to nanny family's doors 5 to 7 minutes early because I want to get the preliminaries out the way, and whatever my start time is, I want to start at that time, not over that time. So I get there, I notice a note on the door to say, hey, Mimi, take your shoes off, put it in the bag that's on the right. Take that bag, put it in the cubby with your name on it. Don't put it in anyone else's cubby. Okay. I knock on the door, shoes in hand. She say, hey, welcome. You're a little early. I said, yeah, because I just like to, get settled in and everything because I don't know what time you have to be to work. You may have to leave at 8 or whatever the case may be, or start work at 8. So I just want to make sure that everything is settled before you have to leave. She'd say, I love this. She's opening the door, letting me in. I'm putting my shoes in my cubby. As she's getting ready to close the door, she sees the notes on the door. She said, oh, Michelle, you didn't grab the sticky note off the door? I say, no, I didn't. And that's all I said. And she was looking at me like I was going to explain. She said, why not? I said, because I didn't know I was supposed to take the sticky note off the door. She said, I was just thinking that maybe that was one of those things like just being proactive. You seen the note, you can take it off. I said, no, not for me. If you want me to do things like that, you have to ask me. That's part of the communication that we talked about in the interview. You have to tell me what you need and I'll do it, but I cannot read minds. And so she kind of chuckled a little like, oh, that makes sense. I do think people can read my mind. And I'm like, oh, okay. I feel like that's strike number 1 with you trying to see what you can pull over my eyes, okay? We go on. I meet the baby. The baby's 7 months old. I'm like trying to get the preliminaries because she's acting like she needs to get out the door at this point. So I say, when did the baby wake up? Is the baby on a schedule? When did the baby eat? When is the baby's next nap? She didn't know none of those questions. I don't know. Okay, but I do have a list of things that I want you to do. Okay, but you don't know nothing about the baby who I'm here to take care of, but you know that you have a task of things that you want me to do. Okay. I'm really getting on to you. So I'm like, okay, I'll be sure to get. She was like, I would like you to do the task straight away though. And I said, well, with the baby awake, it's hard to do these type of tasks like folding clothes and doing all those things without the baby being just unattended, left to do nothing. So if you don't mind, I'd rather bond with the baby, get to know the baby, let the baby get to know me, know the schedule and all those things. And then I will be sure to get as much done on the list as I can. And I said, do you mind if I take the baby out on a walk around the block? She said, sure. But if you think that walk is going to interfere with you doing things on my list, I recommend that you don't take the baby on the walk. I also have a tracker in the stroller. So that way, if you guys are anywhere and I need to know where, I can locate you guys. And I said, you don't know me and I don't know you. Safety first, whatever. So she sends me the baby list in the Notes app in the iPhone, and we collaborate. And so she said, this is the list. This is what it's all baby related. I said, okay, perfect. Me and the baby, we're having a good time. I'm getting to know the little girl. Boom. It's almost time for her. Like maybe she started getting a little, I could tell she like shifting into almost sleep. So I said, okay, let's take a brisk little 5-minute walk around the block. So that way you can wind down. We could come back. We could put you down for a nap. We halfway around the block. Why the mom pull up? Hey, Michelle. Hey, Michelle. Now, if you're calling me from a car, I'm going to keep walking because I don't know nobody in this neighborhood to be calling me by my name in a car. So she's like, Michelle, Michelle, Michelle. And I finally look over and it's the mom. I say, what the? She's like, I didn't see, and I couldn't hear what she was saying. I couldn't hear. I said, talk to me when we get to the house. Like, I'm right around the corner from her. She was like, I'll just talk to you later. So where are you coming from and where are you going that you have to stop to come 2 blocks around the house? I mean, like, literally, it's their house, a corner, go straight a corner, go straight a corner, go straight a corner. And you back at their house, literally a square. So where were you that you can find us in the square? And then say you have to go. Okay, whatever. So boom, I'm home. I put the baby down. I'm checking through the list. Boom, 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 boom. Laundry, sanitizing the toys, putting age appropriate toys out, getting buckets to take the toys from the baby's room that I took out before the nap to switch them out with the front room toys. I mean, I'm knocking this list down, sanitizing bottles, everything, right? Pop, 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 pop. So I'm sure the app is alerting her, like, Michelle is doing shit in the app. Next minute I know, they get to saying that she doing something in the app. She get to add it. Do the laundry, our laundry. There's laundry that I need you to do that's in my room, that's in a basket. And it's going to stay in that basket. Unload the dishwasher. No. Vacuum the front room and the dining room. No. I'm not doing none of this shit. Dust in between they had like all these pretty vases. Dust in between the vases. Use the wood spray to clean all the countertops. No, the fuck? So she come and the baby is asleep. And she's like, Michelle, how's the day going? I said, the day's going good. I said, what was you saying to me when I seen you in the car around the corner? She was like, no, I was just saying that I didn't see anything on the list that was getting done, but you were outside. And I kind of told you that if you were going to go outside, but it was going to hinder the list, that I recommend that you didn't do it. I said, the list is done. She was like, huh? I said, yeah, the list is done. She was like, no, it's not. Like, she was like, 75% of the list is done. It's like 25% of the list still is not done. So I said, the baby section of the list? She was like, yes, that is done. I said, yes, that's the part that you had me do while you were out. She was like, yes, but then did you see the other things that I added? I say, oh, I didn't feel comfortable and I wanted to wait for you to come home to tell you this. I don't feel comfortable doing those tasks at the position and the rate that I am at right now. I feel like that's something we need to go back to the agency with, and then we need to tie those tasks into the pay and the title. Because right now, as a nanny, I'm here to do baby-related tasks. She was like, well, I think that if you're here to impress us, if you're here to get a job, that you would do what we're asking you to do. I said, no. You're here because you need a nanny. There's millions of families, just like there's millions of nannies. She was like, no, I just think that, from the door, I kind of picked up that you were like, a little rude because I asked you why you didn't take the note off the door. And you actually said nothing. I said, no, you actually asked me, did I take the note off the door? And I said, no. She was like, right. And you should have explained yourself. I say, no, I shouldn't have. You asked a question and I answered the question. She was like, and I mean, you could have texted me and told me or called me and told me you wasn't going to do these tasks. I could have sent you home at that moment. But then you stayed around and the baby sleep and you're staying around to get more money. I said, no, I'm staying around because you're not home. You're not home and your baby's 7 months. And so I can't leave the child because I'm done with the task. No one's home. Like, it's just me. And she just was looking. She didn't think shit was funny. She was like, yeah, well, I don't know. I don't think this agency has what we're looking for because you're the second nanny that we cannot send to. The first nanny didn't do enough, and I feel like you also didn't do enough. I said, I did everything you asked me to do. She said, but the task the additional. I said, yeah, that's the additional task. But the original task, your baby is clean, your baby's fed, everything you had on that list initially is all done. So, sometimes we're just not a good fit for one another. I pissed that woman off. She was like, okay, well, I brought cash. Good. We'll never got to talk to each other again. I didn't say that. I just said, oh, perfect. Thank you so much. Well, you have a great rest of your day. And she was like, you too. And then I just left, never to return. Because what are you talking about? Would people be crazy?